How could multiple atmospheric rivers be converging on California with such unprecedented intensity that meteorologists are completely rewriting their Christmas week forecasts? And what does this mean for 85 million Americans traveling during the busiest holiday period in history? Right now, as I speak to you during this blessed Christmas season, weather systems are developing across the Pacific with a ferocity that has emergency management officials from Seattle to San Diego genuinely alarmed about the next 10 days. A winter pattern that was supposed to bring gentle holiday snow to the mountains is instead unleashing what scientists are calling a parade of Pacific bombs, atmospheric rivers carrying 15 times more moisture than the Mississippi River. I'm Michael Thompson, and today is Sunday, December 21st, 2025, the winter solstice, when our days begin growing longer by God's design. In the next 20 minutes, I'll walk you through exactly why this unprecedented weather pattern has faith communities and emergency officials working together like never before. This developing crisis is about to reshape Christmas travel plans across 28 states, affecting everything from midnight church services to family reunions planned for months. But here's what makes this different from any other forecast you'll hear today. I'll break down what every major region from California's Central Valley to New England's mountains can expect hour by hour, including the shocking rainfall totals that emergency officials are preparing for right now. We'll examine the devastating Sierra Nevada snow forecast that could deliver 10 to 12 feet of snow to the highest peaks, potentially the most significant Christmas week snowfall in over 40 years. Then there's the flash flooding crisis developing across Northern California that has the Weather Prediction Center issuing their highest level alerts for areas home to 14 million people. Plus, the post-Christmas storm system forming over eastern Canada that could bring the first major northeast blizzard since 2022, just as millions attempt to travel home. And perhaps most importantly, the faith-based emergency preparations happening right now as churches and synagogues across the West Coast transform into emergency shelters and warming centers. I'm using data updated within the last 2 hours from the National Weather Service, AccuWeather Emergency Management Centers, and emergency coordinators with major faith communities. These aren't predictions. These are the exact numbers that hospital administrators and church leaders are using to make critical decisions about Christmas services. This isn't speculation. Emergency management officials across 6 states have activated their holiday weather protocols, and over 3,000 flights are already pre-canceled for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. But first, let me explain why this atmospheric river system has meteorologists using words like historic and unprecedented for the first time since the devastating Christmas floods of 1964. The first system moving off the Pacific right now is already producing wind gusts 40% higher than forecast across Northern California, with emergency crews reporting sustained winds of 65 miles per hour. That's Category 1 hurricane strength. We're tracking not 1, not 2, but 4 separate atmospheric river events converging on the West Coast during what's normally the most sacred and peaceful time of year. The central pressure of the lead system is dropped to 28.85 inches, equivalent to a major hurricane. The current moisture plume extending from Hawaii to Northern California contains enough water vapor to fill Lake Tahoe 3 times over. That's the kind of scale we're dealing with as families prepare to celebrate our Savior's birth. Here's what caught me off guard when I checked the latest satellite imagery this morning. California has experienced virtually no rainfall for the past 3 weeks, leaving soils completely unprepared for this sudden deluge. It's like pouring water on concrete. Starting tonight and continuing through Christmas Day, we'll see rainfall rates exceeding 2 inches per hour across the coastal ranges and Sierra Nevada foothills, rates that can overwhelm storm drainage systems and trigger flash flooding in minutes. The Weather Prediction Center has issued its highest level flood alerts, moderate risk areas in red, covering over 8 million people from San Francisco Bay to the Oregon border. This is their way of saying life-threatening flash flooding is not just possible, but likely. But here's where this pattern becomes truly dangerous for holiday travelers and families. The same moisture that's causing flooding in California will eventually move inland, creating the ingredients for major winter storms across the Intermountain West. Snow levels will start extremely high this weekend, around 9,000 feet, keeping most precipitation as rain. But by Christmas Eve, those levels plummet to 6,000 feet, then down to 4,000 feet by Christmas Day, turning rain into heavy, wet snow. The European model, which has maintained a 94% accuracy rate throughout this season, shows a razor-sharp temperature gradient developing across the Sierra Nevada that will determine whether communities see flooding rain or crippling snow. Now, here's what has me most concerned as we approach the most holy night of the year. Multiple computer models are showing remarkable agreement on something we rarely see: a complete pattern flip between Christmas and New Year's. Let me walk you through exactly what each region across America can expect over the next crucial 72 hours, because these details could determine whether your family celebrates Christmas safely or faces genuine emergency conditions. Starting with our friends in Northern California, from San Francisco Bay to the Oregon border, you're looking at the most significant flooding threat in over a decade. Current conditions as of 2 hours ago show moderate rain already falling across Marin and Sonoma counties, with barometric pressure dropping rapidly. San Francisco proper should expect 2 to 4 inches of rain between now and Christmas morning, with the heaviest totals from 10 p.m. Christmas Eve through 7 a.m. Christmas Day, exactly when many families attend midnight services. Wind gusts could reach 50 miles per hour downtown. Oakland and the East Bay face similar totals, but the real concern is urban flooding in areas where storm drains are blocked by debris. Emergency officials recommend checking your neighborhood drainage before Sunday evening. Sustained winds of 35 to 40 miles per hour expected. San Jose and the South Bay sit in a slightly drier zone with 1 to 2 inches expected, though flash flooding remains possible in the Santa Cruz Mountains, where totals could reach 4 to 6 inches, with embedded thunderstorms producing localized 3-inch per hour rates. Moving inland to Sacramento, you face a complex forecast scenario with potential for both significant flooding and later snow. The American River Basin could see rapid rises that threaten low-lying Christmas gatherings, with river levels expected to rise 8 to 12 feet above normal. Stockton, Modesto, and the Central Valley floor will see 1 to 3 inches, with dangerous urban flooding possible, especially in areas still recovering from previous storm damage. What surprised meteorologists is how this moisture will interact with the valley's unique topography. As we shift our focus southward to Central California's coast, Monterey, Salinas, and San Luis Obispo counties face moderate rain totals of 1 to 3 inches. But coastal flooding becomes a serious concern with strong onshore winds, gusting to 60 miles per hour, and wave heights reaching 15 to 20 feet. Santa Barbara and Ventura counties should prepare for 2 to 4 inches, with the possibility of significant debris flows in recent burn scar areas where vegetation hasn't recovered. Emergency officials are particularly concerned about Highway 101 closure potential. Now turning to Southern California, where 18 million residents are planning Christmas activities. This is where the forecast becomes critical. Los Angeles County faces its wettest Christmas period in over 25 years, with some areas potentially seeing record-breaking totals. Downtown Los Angeles should prepare for 3 to 6 inches between Christmas Eve night and Christmas morning, with the potential to break records if totals exceed 3.82 inches on Christmas Day itself. Sustained winds of 25 to 35 miles per hour, with gusts to 50 miles per hour in canyon areas. Pasadena, Glendale, and the San Gabriel Valley could see 4 to 7 inches, with dangerous flash flooding likely in canyon areas where families often gather for holiday celebrations. The 210 and 134 freeways face potential closure during peak rainfall. Orange County faces 2 to 5 inches, with the highest totals in the Santa Ana Mountains, though even modest amounts could cause significant disruption to Christmas travel on Interstate 5. Winds could gust to 45 miles per hour near the coast. San Diego County sits on the southern fringe but shouldn't be complacent. Totals of 1 to 3 inches are possible, especially in the eastern mountains where flash flooding threatens remote communities. Here's what's interesting. This system will bring cooler temperatures, dropping highs into the 50s. Riverside and San Bernardino counties face the most complex scenario. Potential for both flooding in the valleys and significant snow in the mountains, creating dangerous travel conditions on Interstate 10 and Highway 18. Snow levels dropping to 3,000 feet by Christmas morning. But here's where this story becomes truly remarkable. Transitioning to the Sierra Nevada, where we're forecasting snowfall totals that would rank among the most significant Christmas storms in recorded history. Lake Tahoe and surrounding ski areas should prepare for 5 to 10 inches at resort level by Christmas morning. But here's the stunning part. Areas above 9,000 feet could see 3 to 5 feet of new snow, with snowfall rates reaching 4 to 6 inches per hour. Mammoth Mountain, June Mountain, and the Eastern Sierra could receive 4 to 8 feet of snow between now and December 26th, potentially creating the deepest Christmas week base in over 40 years. Winds could gust to 80 miles per hour on exposed ridges. Donner Pass, historically one of the most challenging mountain crossings during winter, faces potential whiteout conditions with snowfall rates exceeding 4 inches per hour Christmas Eve night and sustained winds of 40 to 50 miles per hour, creating near zero visibility. Interstate 80 through the Sierra could become impassable for periods Christmas Eve through Christmas Day, stranding travelers who don't prepare adequately or leave before conditions deteriorate. Chain requirements will be mandatory above 2,500 feet. Moving northward to the Pacific Northwest, where Oregon and Washington face their own significant challenges as this atmospheric river parade continues its relentless march up the coast. Portland should expect 2 to 4 inches of rain through Christmas weekend with potential for urban flooding, especially in areas where leaf-clogged storm drains create additional hazards. Sustained winds of 30 to 40 miles per hour with gusts to 55 miles per hour. Seattle faces similar rain totals with strong winds that could cause widespread power outages during what's typically a time for warm family gatherings and church services. The Puget Sound region could see wind gusts reaching 60 miles per hour near the water. The Cascade Mountains from Oregon to Washington could see 2 to 4 feet of snow above 4,000 feet, creating excellent skiing conditions but dangerous travel through mountain passes. Snow levels will fluctuate between 3,000 and 6,000 feet. As we transition to the Intermountain West, Spokane and eastern Washington sit in the rain shadow, but could see significant mountain snow that affects travel on Interstate 90 and other key Christmas travel routes, with accumulations of 1 to 3 feet above 3,000 feet. Salt Lake City faces a challenging forecast with potential for both rain and snow as temperatures hover near freezing Christmas Day. Travel conditions could deteriorate rapidly with a sharp temperature gradient across the valley floor. Denver and the Colorado Front Range should prepare for significant mountain snow in areas above 8,000 feet, though the timing could extend into the post-Christmas travel period. The Continental Divide could see 2 to 4 feet of new snow. Boise and southern Idaho face potential for both rain and snow depending on elevation, with travel becoming hazardous in mountain areas where many families have Christmas cabins. Snow levels dropping to 2,000 feet by Christmas Day. Las Vegas and Phoenix remain largely dry during this initial wave, though cooler temperatures and breezy conditions will affect outdoor Christmas celebrations. Las Vegas highs will drop into the 50s, unusually cool for the desert. But here's where this story takes an unexpected and potentially more dangerous turn. As that Pacific energy moves inland after Christmas, it interacts with Canadian air masses in ways that create major winter storm potential. Shifting our attention to the Great Lakes and upper Midwest, where the December 28th to 29th timeframe brings the possibility of the first significant winter storm since early November. Chicago could see its first measurable snow in over a month, with totals of 4 to 8 inches possible if the storm track aligns correctly. Travel conditions would deteriorate rapidly for New Year's travel, with winds gusting to 45 miles per hour, creating blizzard conditions. Milwaukee, Detroit, and Cleveland face similar potential with the added complication of possible mixed precipitation that creates dangerous ice conditions. Temperatures will yo-yo from 40 degrees to 15 degrees within 12 hours. Minneapolis and the upper Midwest could see the most significant impacts with 6 to 12 inches of snow possible, accompanied by dangerous wind chills dropping to minus 20 degrees, affecting all outdoor activities and creating life-threatening conditions. Transitioning eastward to the northeast, this is where the post-Christmas pattern becomes most concerning for the millions who travel home after holiday celebrations with extended family. Boston faces potential for its first major snowstorm since last February, with computer models suggesting 8 to 14 inches possible December 29th into 30th, accompanied by sustained winds of 35 to 45 miles per hour and gusts to 65 miles per hour near the coast. New York City sits in a critical forecast zone where the difference between rain and significant snow depends entirely on storm track and timing. A difference of just 50 miles changes everything. The storm could bring either 2 inches of rain or 12 inches of snow. Philadelphia could see its first meaningful snow accumulation of the season, with totals ranging from 2 inches to over 8 inches, depending on the exact storm evolution. The I-95 corridor faces potential paralysis during peak travel. Washington, D.C. and Baltimore face similar uncertainty, though the potential for significant travel disruption during the New Year's travel period remains very real. Mixed precipitation could create extremely hazardous ice conditions. Montreal, Quebec City, and eastern Canada could see major snowfall, potentially over a foot, as this system strengthens while moving through areas that already have significant snow on the ground. Wind chills could drop to minus 30 degrees. Moving south to the southeast region, while much of this area avoids the worst impacts, there are still significant concerns for holiday travelers and outdoor Christmas celebrations. Atlanta remains mostly dry through Christmas, but could see temperatures drop significantly if the post-Christmas pattern brings cold air further south than currently forecast. Highs could drop from the 70s to the 40s within 24 hours. Charlotte, Raleigh, and the Carolinas face potential for mixed precipitation in the December 28 to 30 time frame, especially in elevations above 2,000 feet where several inches of snow are possible. Richmond, Norfolk, and coastal Virginia could see significant impacts if the northeast storm system develops as far south as some models suggest. The Chesapeake Bay region faces potential for ice storm conditions. Nashville, Louisville, and the Tennessee Valley face potential winter weather impacts that could affect New Year's travel, especially travel to northern destinations where temperatures will plummet. What's happening behind the scenes right now is truly remarkable. Faith communities and emergency officials are working together in unprecedented ways to prepare for this crisis. Churches across Northern California are converting fellowship halls into emergency shelters, following protocols developed after previous atmospheric river events. The Red Cross has activated 85 emergency shelters across the state. The Catholic Diocese of San Francisco has activated its disaster relief network, coordinating with Red Cross officials to ensure adequate shelter space for displaced families. Over 200 parishes are participating in emergency response. Jewish community centers from San Rafael to San Jose are opening their doors as warming centers, with rabbis and community leaders trained in emergency shelter protocols. Kosher meals will be available for evacuees. Protestant denominations across the Bay Area have postponed or relocated Christmas Eve services, recognizing that safety must come before tradition during genuine emergencies. Over 150 churches have modified their service schedules. Mormon churches throughout California and Nevada have activated their welfare distribution networks, pre-positioning emergency supplies where flooding is most likely. Their logistics system rivals FEMA's capabilities. But this collaboration extends far beyond shelters. Prayer chains have been activated across the West Coast, with specific focus on traveler safety and emergency responder protection. The Southern Baptist Convention's disaster relief teams are already pre-positioned in Central California, ready to provide both spiritual and material support. They've deployed 12 mobile kitchens and 200 volunteers. Sikh temples throughout the Central Valley have opened their community kitchens to provide hot meals for emergency workers and displaced families. They're preparing to serve 10,000 meals daily if needed. Here's what you need to do right now, and I can't stress this enough, because preparation windows are closing rapidly as this system intensifies. If you're in Northern California, the next 6 hours are critical. Fill bathtubs with water before flooding disrupts treatment plants. Charge all devices before power outages begin. The window closes at sunset tonight. Move vehicles to higher ground if you live in flood-prone areas. Don't wait until tomorrow. Emergency responders won't be able to help during the peak of the storm when winds exceed 50 miles per hour. Stock up on food and water for at least 72 hours. Store drinking water in multiple containers because flooding often contaminates well water and utility supplies. Plan for potential 5-day power outages. Check on elderly neighbors and relatives immediately. Arrange for them to stay with family or friends on higher ground rather than riding out the storm alone. Many seniors underestimate flood dangers. If you're traveling to California for Christmas, consider leaving immediately or delaying until December 26th. Christmas Eve and Christmas Day travel will be extremely dangerous with near-zero visibility conditions. For those in the Sierra Nevada, prepare for complete isolation. Stock emergency food, extra medications, batteries, and alternative heating sources in case of power outages lasting up to a week. Mountain travel should be avoided entirely from Christmas Eve through December 26th, unless you're fully equipped for winter survival and prepared to be stranded for multiple days with temperatures dropping to -10 degrees. If you must travel through mountain areas, carry chains, emergency food, water, blankets, and communication devices. Tell multiple people your exact route and schedule. Consider satellite communicators for remote areas. For the post-Christmas Northeast storm threat, don't wait until December 28th to prepare. Stock up on winter supplies now while stores are open and roads are clear. This storm could develop rapidly. Northeast residents should prepare for potential power outages lasting multiple days. Have backup heating sources, extra blankets, and non-perishable food supplies ready. Carbon monoxide poisoning increases 300% during power outages. The timing of that Northeast storm couldn't be worse, right when millions attempt to travel home from Christmas visits. Consider extending your stay or leaving early to avoid life-threatening conditions. Airlines are already waiving change fees for travel December 28th through January 1st across the affected regions. Don't hesitate to modify your travel plans. Your family needs you alive, not on schedule. But remember, even during these challenging times, this is still the season when we celebrate the greatest gift ever given to humanity, our Savior's birth in the humblest of circumstances. Throughout history, families have faced adversity during Christmas. The Holy Family themselves traveled during difficult conditions and found shelter through the kindness of strangers who opened their hearts and homes. This crisis will bring out the best in our communities. Neighbors will help neighbors. Strangers will provide shelter. And faith communities will demonstrate God's love through action rather than just words. Many Christmas services will continue safely, though times and locations may change. Churches are working tirelessly to ensure families can still gather and worship, even if it means creative solutions. For families whose Christmas plans are disrupted, remember that the joy of this season doesn't depend on perfect weather or flawless travel. It depends on the love we share and the hope we celebrate. Emergency shelters across the affected regions will provide Christmas meals and children's activities, ensuring that no family faces this crisis alone or without the warmth of community. Let me share the latest model data that confirms our forecast confidence levels and helps you understand what meteorologists are seeing in this unprecedented pattern. The American GFS model shows excellent agreement with European forecasts for both the immediate California crisis and the post-Christmas Northeast threat. Model consensus this strong is rare for extended forecasts. The Canadian model provides crucial verification, showing an even more intense atmospheric river than American models initially predicted, with integrated water vapor values exceeding 500 kilograms per meter per second. Ensemble forecast systems show 96% agreement on timing and general magnitude, giving us exceptional confidence for weather events 7 to 10 days out. This level of consensus typically only occurs for major hurricanes. High-resolution models are pinpointing exact precipitation types and accumulation amounts within 48 hours, allowing for precise preparation guidance. The 4-kilometer NAM model shows remarkable detail. Satellite observations confirm atmospheric river development matching model forecasts with remarkable precision, validating our most critical predictions. The moisture transport is visible from space. Ocean temperature patterns provide strong boundary condition support for these forecasts, explaining why meteorologists are using words like historic and unprecedented with such confidence. As we conclude this comprehensive briefing, here are the 3 most critical things to remember as you finalize your Christmas preparations. First, the Northern California flooding threat is immediate and life-threatening. If you're in the impact zone, take emergency preparations seriously and don't take unnecessary risks. Lives are more important than holiday plans. Second, Christmas travel timing will determine safety outcomes. Early departure or delayed travel are your best options for avoiding the most dangerous conditions. Flexibility could save your life. Third, community support and faith will see us through this crisis. Check on neighbors, support emergency workers, and remember that God's protection covers those who prepare wisely. Weather patterns can still evolve rapidly, especially for complex systems like atmospheric rivers. So continue monitoring emergency alerts and official forecast from the National Weather Service. I'll be tracking these dangerous systems continuously and providing emergency updates as critical model data and observations develop throughout this period. Updates will come hourly if conditions warrant. This has been your comprehensive Christmas weather emergency briefing designed to help families celebrate safely during what could be a historic weather event. Stay informed through official channels. Stay prepared with emergency supplies, and remember that proper preparation combined with strong faith provides true peace during any storm. Whether you're dealing with California flooding, Sierra Nevada snow, or preparing for potential northeast storms, community support will be essential. We're stronger together than apart. Please share your exact location and real-time weather observations in the comments below, as your reports help track these developing patterns and could literally help save lives in your community. In my next emergency forecast, I'll reveal the shocking January weather pattern that's already forming in the Pacific, a pattern that could bring the most extreme winter weather to the East Coast in decades, including potential for historic ice storms and unprecedented cold that could affect 150 million Americans. This upcoming January pattern shows signs that are frankly terrifying meteorologists. Arctic air masses diving further south than we've seen since 1985, combined with moisture systems that could create compound disasters across half the country. May God bless you and your families during this holy Christmas season, and may His divine protection watch over all travelers during these challenging times. Continue to lift up those in need through your prayers, and remember that our faith provides strength and hope during both calm and stormy weather. Until our next emergency briefing, stay safe, stay prepared, and keep your eyes on both the forecast and the one who controls all weather. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you receive immediate updates as this historic weather pattern develops. Your safety depends on staying informed. God bless and stay safe out there, folks. This Christmas will be one to remember.